It's the late 2000s. Transformers are in their glory days. Live action movies, the start of Chug, and a new cartoon. This cartoon reinvented Transformers for the better. Whilst everyone was talking about Prowl, Blitzwing and looking up, there was only one character that remained in my mind, be it on the playground in reception class or the toy box. Hello and welcome to Jinxed, where today we will be taking a look at my favourite character from anything ever. This is a look at Animated's Catalyst. Transformers Animated Deluxe Class Blackarachnia. Before we look at this figure, I want to give you all a quick rundown of why she's my favourite character ever. I remember when I first met Blackarachnia, I had bought the Battle Begins 2-pack and it came with a DVD that had Transform and Roll Out on it. She was a part of Megatron's crew on the Nemesis. She was a bitch who took nothing from anyone. She insulted Lugnut and Blitzwing and even stood by herself to the left whilst everyone was on the right when Megatron entered the bridge. That was when I knew she was my favourite character. It wasn't until reruns of the first season, when my parents recorded TFA on Sky, that I saw her Spotlight episode. It remains, in my personal opinion, Animated's most heartfelt episode, next to Predacons Rising. It revealed how she was abandoned by Optimus and Sentinel and then turned into an organic monster. From then on, she would always try her best to try and be herself again, whilst hurting others. It wasn't until Predacons Rising, her final canon appearance, did she almost revert back to Alita, but not in the way we thought she would. She experimented with Wasp, now Waspinator, using transwarp tech in order to see if she could turn him back, so she could also turn herself back. During the end of the episode, after Sentinel found out about Alita 1, Waspinator was about to self-destruct. So, she sacrificed herself by covering both her and Waspinator in webs in order to save her friends. While she survived, Optimus and Sentinel both believed she was dead once again. This is when she reverted back to Alita. She wanted to physically be Alita, but she was mentally Alita. Optimus said to her, before Waspinator blew up, "This time, we're not leaving without you." And she replied of "This time, I am." Despite her newfound hatred for both Optimus and Sentinel, deep down she knew that the Primes meant well and let her old feelings come back up. That wasn't her only role. She was, in my opinion, the catalyst for the plot of Animated. If it wasn't for her disappearance, Optimus wouldn't be a repair bot, and his rivalry with Sentinel wouldn't have happened. This would mean that Optimus and his crew wouldn't have found the Allspark, so Megatron wouldn't have found them, meaning some DAX systems wouldn't exist. In the Allspark Almanac, she is said to be the one responsible for Blitzwing's 3 modes and making him unstable, as well as helping Shockwave obtain his disguise. Being a character whose origins were based on an exotic dancer and whose role was nearly sex appeal, Warriors Blackarachnia turned that on its head and turned her into the most emotionally complicated character in all of Animated. With the help of Cree Summer's amazing voice acting, given the spite and emotion her character needed, she became my favourite character. Which is probably why her figure is my favourite of all time. If I ever meet Cree Summer at a TFM, I just know that I'll cry. I wouldn't know how to thank her for her performance. I have had this figure since I was 4 after visiting Meadowhall in Sheffield. She came everywhere with me, even high school. Every time I played with my figures as a kid, she was one of my main Decepticons. This is why she's in the condition she is. She's scuffed up and missing fangs, but I wouldn't have her any other way. I have loved this figure for over a decade, and a new one wouldn't feel the same. Her detail is amazing, capturing the on-screen model perfectly. She had all the details you need. From the exoskeleton detail on the inner thighs to the hourglass on her crotch, helmet and abdomen. As I've grown older, her design always looked like she was going to a rock concert. The knee-spiked boots, black shorts, cropped spiked leather jacket and spiked fingerless gloves. Honestly, I rate it. Definitely an outfit I'd wear if I had the guts to. Let's look at her head. It looks just like Wyatt's art. It is like her Beast Wars design, but with added insect flair. Her eyes always added to that mutant aspect of her, as no Cybertronian was like her in the show. But what I love most about her sculpt is how much I can hear Cree Summer's voice. I can hear her laugh, her saying it's Blackarachnia now, and I know how easily you forget your friends. It is something that not many figures can capture, but she can. Her weapon is a grappling hook, which she never had in the show, but it does replicate her web abilities. It's able to retract by the press of a button and can hold onto Legends figures. She's actually really good. She's very much up to the standard of him, but not... she's missing one crucial joint, proper joint anyway, that makes her have a massive downfall. She has 360 due to a ball joint at the head. She can go down that forward transformation on a ball joint combined, and same there. She can even do a little hunchback if you want. The back legs here can move around, mainly due to, you know, obviously her spider mode. Ball joints there, she can go all the way around, up that far. Ball joints here, this is her downfall. She has gorilla arms, but it is animated and it is transformation based. She also has support knives if you want, which is what I used to do. This is one thing that is unexpected on her. She has waist joint and an ab crunch, and only the ab crunch is needed for her transformation, but it shouldn't go that far. She'll need to go backwards, which is really good for a figure of her age. She has a thigh swivel, one of those awkward ones that are on a ball joint. Kick up that far. She can kick back that far. And she does have... Oh, it's weird because the angle's different, doesn't it? Because it's animated. I'm going to say more than 90 degrees because obviously her leg is kind of like that, really. But that's his transformation again. She does have, if you really want to force it, an ankle tilt, which does look very odd, but at least she's got one. She has shin movement and toe up and down. She's really good, actually, for her age. Her transformation is quick and easy. It mainly revolves around her spider abdomen and her ab crunch. In the end, you're left with this incredibly accurate spider mode. It looks like it has come straight from Arca 7. It has all of the same articulation as the robot mode, and it works well here as it means most legs are articulated separately, apart from the second set at the front. Overall, this figure and character is amazing. I can't recommend her enough. She is what animated is all about. She is the combination of old and new ideas, and it works in her favour. Whilst I hope we see a new figure of her in the future, I know that it won't be as good as this one. I have been jinxed, and this has been my look at Transformers Animated Deluxe Class Blackarachnia. Remember to check my book out, the link is in the description. I will see you when we take a look at another character from the franchise we all love.